Hi, I'm Ken Krell. Speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders come to me to discover how they can take their current position and turn it into high-powered, high-profit, transformational digital events. I can do the same for you too. You're about to watch an excerpt of one of our online events that I think you may find very powerful. After that, I'll meet you and we'll talk about it.
And if you kind of look at, I had Octonation, I remember in the very beginning, and I've learned, a lot through the communities that I've worked with, and even Octonation. When I first started, and I was thinking of really cool and unique names, Octonation was something that I, really thought was cool. But what I realized was that nobody understood what it was just by the name. And so I added this kind of preface, which was, it's Octonation. It's the largest octopus fan club. And so we have that anywhere you see Octonation, we have that kind of tagline, the largest octopus fan club, so that we can add context, and it empowers everybody else to say, in the market, what is Octonation? Oh, it's the largest octopus fan club. So there has to be kind of like, how are you controlling, how people refer to you in the market? There's plenty of other people who do a really good job at this. I know Dr. Jerion Birch, who was an OBGYN, and he created a community called Medical Moguls. And Medical Moguls is filled with healthcare practitioners who are looking to monetize their PhDs. And so if you're looking to like diversify your income as a doctor, say you're overworked, you feel like you're underpaid, all those things, he has the market in the sense where, if you see, say, a doctor at Starbucks and, they have their hands in their heads, I don't know but you feel confident to say, hey, there's this community. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Medical Moguls. He teaches you how to create a brand online. We feel confident to refer communities that we feel like could benefit somebody. And it's the community leader's job to give those words to somebody to make them feel confident to talk about it. Lots of times people just think these things organically happen. But what I've learned through doing this for years is that we have to be very intentional with the words that we use to talk about our communities, so that we can empower our community members to create other fanatical, community members. So there's, tons that you have to do. And then, the second part with all of that, so say you have that clarity with your messaging, then you kind of go into the core values of your brand. And I'm huge into this because I really feel like every community, their soul of the community has to be deeply rooted in mission, vision, and core values. Because when you have a mass of people, they kind of need to know how to respond to one another, how they should react. You can't just kind of like let people run rampant in a group. They need to know, what are these common threads, or what are these words that we use to kind of unify us. And so developing that out. I know with Octonation, even prior to us being a nonprofit organization, our mission was to inspire conservation of the ocean by teaching the world about octopuses. And so every single time, we would post, or we would create content, or we would think about, different things that we do, we'd have to go back and ask ourselves, is this, at the end of the day, is this doing what our mission is? And then our vision being to become a global leader in marine wildlife education, conservation, and research. Again, another thing that we think about when we're collaborating or doing, content campaigns is this moving us to be closer to being a global leader? Can we think bigger? Can we collaborate on a bigger scale? We've had the privilege of collaborating with, Facebook headquarters. Joe Rogan has shared us, Ellen DeGeneres, has shared us on our Instagram. We have, celebrity followers. We get shared a lot. Our content gets shared a lot. And it intentionally gets shared because we present, our information in such a way that it can be shareable, or, we either ask them to share, or we share information in a way that is it's like very unique. Like it's a very cool factor, it's a resource. And I would say nowadays, when you have so much content online, you really need to start thinking of how are you creating in your content, how are you creating something that is practical, that closes the loop. There's tons of people who want to create content and drive them to an opt-in or drive them to some other location. If you have attention, in one given area, you have to respect that attention and close the loop. So if they have success with something that you taught them, they can attribute that success clearly to your community. And so tons of times I tell people, if you're creating content, don't create all these like open loops. Like we're past that point. Like people really want like all the information in one place. They want to be able to like do, be, or have something as a direct result of a piece of content that you're sharing. So these days where you can just post a quote card and tell people, how do you feel about this? And expect them to achieve a major transformation is just, that's not how the world works nowadays. So,
the low-hanging fruit part of just posting an ad or posting a thing, you got to think now. I think.
Yeah, and it's also, when you're going through it. So say you have, say we have that clarity, then we have core values, then we get into content. All of your content, when you're thinking about your campaigns, or you're thinking about creating value for your community, you have to think every single time you post. And this is another thing that I tell community leaders. Every single time you post, I must see evidence of you strengthening a value that you have in your community. There's, like I said, tons of content that I see that community leaders will kind of wake up, or the person who owns the community will wake up and be like, what do I feel like? What do I want to channel through me today? What do I feel like my community needs to know? And it has nothing to do with you, really. It has nothing, if you're truly, serving that community, it's about creating that feedback loop so that you're very clear with what they need, and that you provide them those things.
So that's one short taste of how you can use the power of digital events to help people transform their lives and find a new way to live. Want to learn how you can put it to use in your own business? Well, stick with me for the Digital Events Essentials Plan. It's called DEEP. It'll take you through how you can plan, produce, and profit from your own online events. It's pretty great, it's pretty free, and I think you'll like it pretty much. So come join me. Click the link either in the description below or somewhere on this video itself, and we'll take you over there. It's completely free. I think you're going to love it, and it will give you the plan you need to plan, produce, and profit from your own digital events.